Hello, everybody. Louise Edington, the Cosmic Owl of Cosmic Owl Astrology, and I am re-recording the Cancer Full Moon forecast video because of the sound quality and the troublesome mic. I thank you for your suggestions, those who were being helpful. But believe me, I had been Googling, I'd watched a million YouTube videos, I'd changed all these settings. I really thought I had cured it, and I tested it, recorded it before I recorded the Cancer Full Moon video, and it was terrible. And so that mic is unplugged and will not be used again. And I am researching really good mics. And yes, I know Rode is recommended, also Shure, but I'm really going to take my time over this because I'm getting much better quality from these. So thank you for those of you that were really kind about it. But oh, I put that video out, then I had to do some life things. I came back to a million comments, and you really do not need to kind of uh, go, oh, I can't hear, it hurts my ears and things like that. I'm sorry, you know. Tech things happen. Anyway, well, here we are again with the Cancer full moon, and it's a new year, and I'm going to make sure I've got a better mic. And that mic, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Probably throw it in the trash because it's just, I could not get it to work with Zoom and on my computer, no matter what I tried. So, Cancer full moon. First of all, this was the card I pulled for it. The Knight of Cups, which is the mastery of emotional loyalty and commitment. Now, first of all, just to kind of look at this card, kind of soak up what it's doing. So he's riding on a white horse like Pegasus, kind of, although the horse has not got wings. The figure has got wings himself, flying forward up into the air with the Cancer. I literally pulled this for the Cancer full moon, with Cancer crab up here, and the chalice, which is like the Holy Grail, which is often thought to be the divine feminine. And down here we have a peacock as well that is kind of moving away from. I don't know if you can see the peacock. If you want to get a closer look at the card, you can Google Knight of Cups, Thoth or Thoth, Thoth tarot. And I love just when I look at this card, I love that the horse is if you can tell, this eye is looking at the person looking at the card, as if to say, are you following? Are you coming along? Are you coming and seeking this Holy Grail and of this emotional loyalty and commitment? And how apt that I pulled this card for the Cancer full moon. But anyway, before we move on to all the other things, I want to read what Angeles Arian says about this card. This is a visual representation of emotional loyalty, generosity, commitment, and unconditional love. Mythically, this is the Knight and the Holy Grail. Of all the knights in the deck, this is the only one which is not helmeted. So he's very open and not protected. And that's the symbol of openness, trust, and the willingness to be seen, the very qualities that are needed in order to be emotionally spontaneous, outreaching, and unguarded. This is the winged knight who, like Pegasus, the winged horse, offers emotional regard and spiritual upliftment. The white horse is a symbol of power coming from an integrated and spiritual source, the color white. The Knight of Cups wears the green suit, which is symbolic of creative love. And actually, it's the green suit and creative love is very Venus in Pisces, right? Okay, another water sign. Green is a Venus color, and we are heading into Venus retrograde. So I'll put the link for that in the description, my class that I do. Anyway, he holds the grail or loving cup out of which a crab emerges. And well, I'll talk more about Cancer the crab in a minute. From my perspective, Cancer the crab is an astrological symbol that represents the quality of emotional loyalty and the ability to give emotional comfort, support, and positive regard to others. Of course, it's also birth, the mother. The Knight of Cups is rising out of the emotional waters above the peacock, which represents love that has moved beyond ego and vanity, the peacock, and offers unconditional love that is spiritually healing and uplifting, the Knight and the Grail. In the West, the peacock is a symbol associated with warding off evil and is also representative of vanity and ego. In the East, the peacock is associated with perception and vision and is seen as a healing omen. And in medieval hermeneutics, it was viewed as a symbol of the soul. Beautiful card for Cancer the crab, full moon. So, the Cancer full moon, I'm not going to show the chart yet, but the Cancer full moon is coming up on January the 13th, 2025 at 5:26 p.m. in Washington, D.C. So first of all, I do want to talk to you about some numbers because this is the first lunation of 2025, of the new calendar year. And so this is a 9-year in numerology, which is all about endings, personal growth, and helping others, which is another symbol of Cancer. It's a year to reflect on the past, close old chapters, and focus on making positive changes in our lives and the lives of those around us. So isn't that good, right? The 9 really is the end of an era, a 9 cycle. Okay. So it's time to complete unfinished business, reach conclusions, and tie up loose ends. And then we have a universal day number. The universal day number is calculated by adding up all the digits in the date. So January is 1, and 13th is 4, 1 plus 3, and then the 9. So it all adds up to 14, and then we put 1 plus 4 is 5. So it's a universal day number of 5 for this first full moon, which symbolizes change, freedom, and adventure, time for new impressions, flexibility, and experiments. And it's really kind of an active changing number. And then a couple of other numbers that I will come back to after we look at the chart, but I will mention the 13 first, which is all over this chart as well. So it is on the 13th, and 13 is the number of the witch in many ways, but it's the 13 is made up of 1 and 3. 1 is new beginnings, striving forward, motivation and progress, attainment and fulfillment, and 3 is optimism and enthusiasm, communication and self-expression, inspiration, creativity, expansion, and growth. And so that brings us all to 13, a feminine number and about tapping into your intuition. As an angel number, according to Sacred Scribes Angel Numbers.blogspot.com by the same person who does the other numerology site I often quote. 13 is about saying that some upheavals may take place, but this is happening so that you will break new ground, that will bring new opportunities to grow spiritually, and it's calling for adapting to changes gracefully. And I also see it as really the rise of the divine feminine in so many ways. Okay, so I'm going to share the chart, but before I do want to mention, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. Please remember I'm human, you know. If something's off with the video, kind of check what others have said in the comments already. You know, you don't have to kind of go, oh, freak out on it. I was only away for a short time, and honestly, the comments, just like, whoa, okay. Anyway, I always try and make things right, and I've been trying to sort that mic out for days. But anyway, but also I do want to mention before I dive into the chart that I am offering the free quantum astrology gathering. I pulled together a load of fabulous astrologers, interviewed them, and all their interviews will be going out to those that put their name and email into the form, and you will get an email a day with the videos, and there will be a surprise at the end of it. And the videos will go out between January the 6th and the 17th. Also, I'd love to mention my Venus Retrograde Heroines Journey class. It's the 6th time since 2017 I've run it. This class literally came to me in a dream from Venus, and it's astro-shamanic in nature, which means that we do shamanic healing work through it. I talk about the astrology, of course, but also the myths and the stories associated with the Venus cycle, and we do such shamanic healing throughout. So I hope you'll check that out. We've still got the early bird price extended till January the 10th. All right, so let's share the chart. This is the chart for the full moon. Oh, no, that's, yeah, here it is. On January the 13th. Oh, gosh. Sorry, I'm just trying to get... That's not the one. Stop share. It's a Cancer full moon. So let me close that one. Don't save. All right, so I can get the right one. A secret about my chart is that I have so much mutable energy in my chart, that all of this mutable energy going on at the moment, we had that Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius, we've got Jupiter retrograde in Gemini, we've got Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, is all hitting my chart and has made things very erratic in my life. So it's all good, but you know, forgiveness is also good. So the full moon itself is at the very last minute of the 24th degree of Cancer, 23 degrees 59 minutes. So when we look at the symbols, we'll be looking at 24. But it's an opposition because it's a full moon, the moon opposing the sun, Capricorn sun at 23 degrees 59 minutes. Mars is conjunct the moon. Mars is retrograde and is moving towards the moon, and the moon is moving towards Mars. So that's a pretty tight conjunction on this full moon. And Mars is in an almost exact trine to Neptune over here in Pisces. So you can see that 2704, 2731, those two are at the same degree. So this makes it extremely intuitive, and I'll talk more about all of this in a minute. The full moon at 23, almost 24 degrees, is also in an almost exact T-square to Eris, the truth teller and pot stirrer in Aries. So I'll talk about what that means too. Also, the full moon is making a lovely wedge pattern. Can you see it here? To Uranus in Taurus. And this degree is really important. So I will be talking about this as well. 2323. So just know that all of this is really kind of speaking to each other. And Uranus is opposing asteroid Juno in Scorpio at 22 degrees. And so therefore Juno is also aspecting the full moon, and this is making a mystic rectangle here. So I have got a lot to talk about there. But then we've got some other numbers coming in. Venus will be at 11 degrees Pisces in an almost exact square to Jupiter. So I've got to talk about that. Meanwhile, Jupiter is in an almost exact air trine to Ceres. So I'm going to talk about that as well. And Ceres is about to conjunct Chiron's wife. And lastly, I am going to mention briefly Mercury coming up to conjunct Centaur Pholus, which is very close on this full moon. And I'll talk more about that as well. So these are some things to think about, remembering the 23, remembering that we've got aspects to Uranus, Eris, Neptune, and then we've got Venus, Jupiter, Ceres, all speaking to each other, and Juno, of course. So I'll share the chart occasionally, but I don't want you to get too tied up in the astrology kind of symbolism, and really I don't want you to get too kind of focused on trying to make sense of the astrology. Listen to the message. This is such a powerful, powerful, powerful day. So 23, I said there was another number to come back to, and I've talked about the number 23 for so long. It keeps being highlighted. It's a really crucial number. 23 is made up of the numbers 2 and 3. 2 is duality and balance, diplomacy, cooperation, faith and trust, duty and mission. Also your life purpose and soul mission. 3 is joy, optimism, self-expression, creativity, expansion and growth, encouragement and assistance, and manifesting and manifestation. Number 3 also is related to the ascended masters, or the ascended teachers, I prefer to call them. And this makes 23 a number of duality, charisma, communication, and society. 23 is a message that the angels and ascended teachers are assisting you with maintaining your faith and trust in the universe as you work diligently to manifest your highest desires and aspirations. When feeling doubt or fear, ask your angels for help and guidance, as they are always with you. 23 at its root is about encouraging you to use your natural abilities, talents, and creativity to bring joy and happiness into your life and into that of others. Communicate honestly and openly with others and strive to help others in your daily life. What you put out comes back to you, so keep a positive attitude and optimistic outlook to ensure that all in your life remains balanced and harmonious. Now, other things about 23 though. First, 23 is a very powerful number. It's the number of chaos magic associated with chaos magic. And, I've talked often about chaos magic really is kind of like about alchemy and kind of creating all the pieces together out of nothing. But also 23 is the most human number. It's the number of days in the biorhythm cycle. It's the number of seconds that blood takes to move around the body. It's the number of articulations in the human arm. It's also the number of pairs of chromosomes in a human body, and the number of digits: 10 fingers, 10 toes, 2 ears and a nose. 23 goes down to 5, which is a Venus number, and we're on this 5 universal day of bringing change. But not only that, I did say I would talk about Uranus number, because Uranus is um, at 23 degrees, 23 minutes of Taurus, which is one of Venus signs. Okay, so 23 degrees, 23 minutes is the exact degree that Ceres was discovered on January the 1st, 1801. Now, very quickly, Ceres was the first body to be discovered by telescopes, by this modern culture. Yes, we had gods and goddesses named Ceres, Demeter, years ago, but the actual planetary being, Ceres, was discovered on January 1st, 1801 at 23 degrees, 23 minutes. And Uranus is exactly at that spot today. Not only that, though, on May the 18th, 2024, bringing us to where we are now, Venus met Uranus at 23 degrees, 23 minutes of Taurus. And Uranus is now retrograde back at that point and aspecting this full moon. And Uranus, of course, is the radical change bringer. Uranus is awakening. Uranus is the benevolent rebel. Uranus is aha moments. Uranus is how you seek freedom to express your individuality. Uranus brings change, disruption, and revolution. It's breakdowns and breakthroughs. So this is a very powerful aspect, having this on there. I would say that, this is like the inception of a new um, um, rise in human consciousness. And there's other things too. Okay, so that's that degree. So something's going to hark back to May 2024. Okay, so quickly having a look at what was going on in May 2024. I can't go through all of it, but President Xi visited Europe in France. But going further along, Stormy Daniels testified in court. Putin was elected for his 5th term, so-called kind of elected, there was, you can go and look up a lot of other things, but I'm just trying to kind of tell you things that may be relevant to now. The Dow hit 40,000 points for the first time and is having a bit of a downturn at the moment, I think due to kind of what's coming, although I think that could change. Scientists announced the discovery of a long-lost branch of the Nile, which is now dried up, that once ran to near many of the Egypt's pyramids. There was large thunderstorms that took out power from 1 million customers and killed 7 people in Houston, Texas. And there was something else. Iran's president died in a helicopter crash. I think there was something else there. There was a few things around climate change back then as well. Anyway, just to I'm just trying to nudge your memory so you can think back to May and kind of think what was happening for you around that time. If you've had some events happen around that time, especially if you have energies around 23 degrees of pretty much any sign really, with all this going on, you are probably going to get an activation again. Then this full moon is also square to Eris in Aries. And Eris is, she threw the apple of discord into the party. She caused the Trojan War by causing the elites to argue amongst themselves. Eris stands for the outsider, those who've been rejected, and she is almost exactly square to this full moon, saying, I'm going to shake tables and bring things to light. Okay, then we have the Mars moon conjunction, and Moon and Mars are together in the sign of Cancer, and Mars in Cancer is kind of more the he's a little bit sensitive, a little bit like softer, more guardian. I always think of Mars, and Mars has traveled back into Cancer in his retrograde and is meeting the moon, and I think Mars is taking his place as more guardian rather than me first. So, there's lots of things I could say. But then Mars is in this exact trine almost to Neptune, and this is the second trine. I did do a Mars whole retrograde video going through all these aspects, so this is kind of repeating some of that. But the first trine before Mars was retrograde was also at this degree. That was on October the 28th, right before the election, right? January the 12th is the exact second trine, so day before this full moon, and this will finish in April. We're finding a lot of these stories finishing in April, but this is all further softening it, but it's also kind of revealing, shining a big light on the light of compassion, care, love. And this is why I just think, love is going to win out. So let's talk a bit more deeply about the sign of Cancer, which of course is the moon's own sign. Cancer is emotional because the moon is our emotions. Cancer is very loyal, very nurturing, intuitive, sensitive, can be moody, stubborn, but sympathetic, romantic, and imaginative. And this is all about wanting to care for our clan, really. This is kind of wanting to nurture each other. And adding to this, not only is this full moon in its own sign, we're at lunar maximum or lunar standstill. In fact, the actual peak lunar maximum, which happens every 18.5 years, is just 2 days before this. So this is the lunar maximum on lunar standstill, which heightens this energy even more. And this is, the sun and moon highlighting, shining their lights, because they are our lights or luminaries, shining the light on how we as a world, or whatever, have lacked this mothering energy, this energy of compassion, this energy of empathy and family, and energy of love, but more in the way of like a motherly love. Okay, so caretaking love. Now, of course, it's also got a shadow, the energy of Cancer, so it can be security focused but overly protective, but also it can be a little bit broody and fussy, and so it will shine a light on those kind of things too. But really, I see this really as that might bring up some brooding about the memories, to go back to some of what I said during the numbers of, how did we get to this? How did we, and how can we move forward? Then, as well, we also have a mystic rectangle from the full moon to Uranus and Juno, the asteroid of contracts, sacred contracts with each other, and also the goddess of women and children in Scorpio. How have we allowed our power to be taken away from us? And how have we allowed to, to have these powerful autocrats, that's all I can say, kind of taking our power away? And a mystic rectangle is or a righteousness rectangle has two oppositions enclosed by two trines and two sextiles. And it's not really very mystic, to be quite honest, but it's got this envelope feel as if things are tucked inside. So to put it briefly, we are integrating on this full moon the energy of that heightened moon, heightened compassion, heightened emotions, retrograde Mars reflecting on that energy of might is right, me energy. Okay. And Neptune and in Pisces about, we're probably gonna get a bright, oh sorry, that's not in the mystic rectangle, but Juno and then Uranus opposing each other. Juno in Scorpio opposing Uranus at that discovery number of series is saying, just look at this world. It's not, we need this energy of caring for each other, meeting everybody's needs. This is nothing is meeting the needs of the earth, the people, everything, because we're all interconnected. And that's where it goes to Neptune. We're realizing more and more that everything is interconnected, and we're seeing how this rising kind of might is right kind of energy is not good for anybody. The nodes on this full moon are back at 0, Aries and Libra, before they will move it back into Pisces. In fact, they moved on, actually on, sorry, I think I created this chart using the mean calculation of the nodes, and I prefer I don't know why I did it that way, but I prefer using the true calculation. So actually on this full moon, the nodes will have already moved back into the sign of Pisces. They'll be at 29 Pisces Virgo, which is the spiritual, practical, mystical axis. So this full moon, in so many ways, is just putting this big illumination on the need to birth something new and leave behind the past in just myriad of ways. Then we add in, the dance between the two so-called benefics. Venus in Pisces is just, in her higher love phase, and she is going, just love everybody, feel into everybody, shine, bring the values of higher love in. She's square to Jupiter, the old king of the gods, Zeus in Gemini, who's been retrograde, going, let's have a look at our perceptions and our ideas, and, the idea of rulerships in so many ways as well. Then Ceres with Uranus at her discovery degree is also in this dance with Venus, Ceres and Jupiter. This is a dance of expansion, of belief and faith and spiritual ideas. All right, so it's just huge, this full moon, for just so many reasons. And then just lastly, Mercury conjunct Pholus, Centaur Pholus, cause and effect. Mercury, the messenger, we're going to get clarity, because Mercury in Capricorn is very clear thinking, very determined about what's been going on. It's just an absolutely stunning full moon, to be quite honest. I think on this full moon and on the approach to it, I think a lot is going to come to light in the world, everywhere, not just in the US, about how we must birth something new. And this is really taking us into this new paradigm in a lot of ways. Just bear with me 1 second, I just want to talk about one other thing before I read the symbols. But don't forget to check my links, the free, totally free, not even selling the recordings, talks that I'm sending out, and check out my Venus retrograde class. It's amazing. People, come back time after time, and everyone is slightly different. All right. So I did mention that on this full moon, the nodes will have shifted into Pisces and Virgo. And this is, so it's changing from the collective focus of me versus we, and also, not playing nice anymore and rolling over, to themes of service, passion, and integration. And this shift, because it's a big shift of the nodes, right? And when I use the true calculation, the nodes have moved like 2 days before into Pisces and Virgo. This shift could mark the end of military conflict, or at least a collective redirection of focus towards more unifying or humanitarian concerns. Okay. There could be, the kind of uh, emerging saying we're going to clean this up kind of energy, but there's also this hope and offer of visions and healing and practical solutions for fixing what is broken. So that's going to be the theme. So can you see the symbols, the numbers, everything that's involved? The astrology is all speaking about kind of reaching this peak point of, oh no, this is not good. We cannot do this. Okay. All right, I'm moving to the symbols now. So again, don't forget to check out my call series and also my Venus class. And believe me, sometimes I feel I'm meant to re-record these videos because this one has come up with, I've kind of had some downloads around this full moon that were not included in the original video, which is going private and then will get deleted. Okay, so Cancer 24. We always go up, and this is 2359, right? This Sabian symbol is a woman and 2 men, or it could be the other way around, 3 people, castaways on a small island of the South Seas. And Rudyard said, this is the focalization of complex inner potentialities in harmonic and concrete relationships. He says the woman or the 3 people represent the threefold aspect of the human personality: the emotional life, and he says is facing the possibility, if not the inevitability, of relating itself to both the spiritual and the mental. The confrontation occurs on a small island of the South Seas, and South refers symbolically to the strong and passionate impulses of human nature. Somehow, the threefold consciousness has to develop a harmonious and well integrated way of life. And if successful, this will release powerful energies and will lead forward. So, as always, this is giving us an opportunity, but I still think we are heading in the right direction. Anyway, so take out of your mind that it's 2 men and a woman. It's 3 people, and it's all happening within you. It's the energies within you, really. And he said that this is about the realization of interdependence or interconnectedness, which I talk about all the time. So to John Sandbach's symbols. So the Omega symbol is, that's not the right one. 24 Cancer. That's because I'm like, what? I'm not in Taurus. Okay, bear with me 1 second. 24 Cancer from John Sandbach. Then I'm also going to read Elias Lonsdale's interpretation because I just like his interpretations of this one. So the Omega symbol is a man or a human building a structure meant to look like the ruins of a temple. He said that a degree angel is Michael, revealing the concealed political authority and order. What could that mean? Anyway, it says, he says, you are acutely aware of the past, of what has been lost, and of the valuable wisdom that needs to be retrieved. You know that the past cannot be returned to, but that its glories and wonders need to be recreated, and so that they may re-emerge in the present. You are looking for ways to spiritually attune to these and to help them be reborn into the world. Now, this Chandra symbol is a single crumbling Corinthian column. What is an illusion in the Omega symbol becomes a reality in the Chandra symbol. We all seek the inner temple, and the aura of sublimity and mystery found in temple ruins evoke that knowing that the temple within ourselves awaits our return. We need, though, to be aware of getting caught up in nostalgia and regret for past glories which have faded. The real and eternal temple we seek may be ignored and neglected, but it will never fall into ruin. And then I just want to read his Pleiadian and Azoth symbols, because this is such a powerful full moon. A woman climbs a mountain to witness sunset. That's the Sabian rechanneled. I kind of like that, especially with this being such a powerful Cancer full moon, posing the sun in Capricorn. I think we're witnessing the sunset of the patriarchy, so to speak. Anyway, and the Azoth symbol is a human surprised by the reception of a precious gift. So one last thing. Elias Lonsdale's interpretation of a single crumbling Corinthian column. The inward temple, held in tune, sits in celestial juices, beheld by the gods as a pillar of light, defiant of time's cycles, invested with the life pulse immortal, as serene and effortless as it is constant and true, making way for what cannot be foreseen and giving voice to a sensibility that is entirely pregnant with worlds within worlds held intact and offered up upon the altar of the world stage. Just wow. One last thing before I go. Somebody in a comment, and I hope I can find it again to answer them, asked the Dane Rudhyar's Sabian Symbols book. I can't remember the actual name of his book, but anyway, I don't think it, Astrological Mandala, is not available to buy anywhere. Somebody asked me if I could take pictures and send it to them. Well, it's got a lot of pages in it, and no, I can't do that. But what I can do is tell you that if you Google Sabian Symbols Dane Rudhyar, there's a site called mindfire.ca that has got them all on there for you, and a lot of other Dane Rudhyar stuff. So you can go and find that website, or maybe I'll try and remember to post the link in the thing. But no, I'm kind, but no, I'm not going to spend all my time photocopying or taking pictures of every page of a book and emailing it to anybody. Oh my goodness, what a life. Anyway, I love you, and this full moon is amazing. And just one other thing to those of you that follow the political videos that we're doing, um, we also occasionally, or I do at least, and so does Kathy, watch some of the psychic mediums and things that also believe that the US election was stolen. And Rosie Insights had a really good one um, that was recorded on New Year's Eve. They don't think that the election is going to get certified. So, we'll see. And maybe it won't. There's a lot of twists and turns. And when we meet again on Friday, Kathy, Andy, and I will look at more of that astrology. So, see you later.